The Pioneer RMX 500 is so close to perfection, but it just doesn't cut it for me. The RMX 500 is supposed to be a remix station, an effects unit that you can use in DJ sets in order to spice up your transitions between songs, right? And the point of view that I'm going to provide here is not so much related to DJ, although I think that you can take some points for that part of business as well, but it's more for Dawless. When I first look at the RMX 500, I looked at it as a kind of end-of-chain effects unit that would provide me with a way to improve the transitions between patterns or songs. You know, in Dawless, you're very much working with patterns. For example, if you're working with an Electron Digitac, you're working with patterns, and you may have different patterns for different parts of the same song where you want to spice up the transitions between those patterns, those parts of the song. Or you might want to transition between different songs and you want a way to kind of make that more seamless, you know? I think you still have to plan the live set ahead with that in mind, or have like a specific setup that allows you to kind of seamlessly go through different songs. But a lot of that workload could be helped with just having a good end-of-chain effects unit that would allow you to seamlessly transition between these part songs, right? So that's why I wanted this Pioneer RMX 500. So this unit can be divided in two big sections, right? So the part on the left with the big knob, they call it audio effect, but to me it's more like a sequencer, a 4-beat sequencer, and also beat repeats or beat effects, right? So you have a bunch of effects here, like for example, roll, you have add, reverb, and delay, and you have offset that each kind of break down or add to the current beat that is being played, right? And that's all fine and dandy. And then below it, you have a sequencer part, and you can have like a 4-bar sequence with kick, snare, clap, hi-hat, and cymbals. And then on the right side, you have the build-up and the breakdown effects. And again, with the big knob, so basically, if you want to build up something, you want to get like a climax sort of effect, you can use the modulation, the echo, the noise, the spiral up or reverb up effects. Or if you want to break down into another song or whatever, you can use the high pass filter, the low pass filter, the zip effect, whatever it is, spiral down and reverb down. And to each of them, you can add echo. That's why this echo button plus is kind of blinking right now, because in addition to what the effect is actually doing, like for example, adding noise, you can add like an echo. But these you can adjust, for example, the noise level. So if, for example, if the type of effect has white noise effects going behind it, you can adjust the noise level using these buttons right here. And you can also change the echo and beat, and this is more important for the release effect, which I'll talk in a minute. It's a good thing to say that you can actually change, and I think that this is not something that is usually described in tutorials and everything. And I'll show an example later on. But these knobs are actually pressure sensitive. So if you press it at different pressures, you can have different types of effects applied. I'll show an example here, like the noise. As you can see, as I move the knob, it just basically adds or raises the volume of the effect, right? So you can also see the echo. So if I disable the echo, there's no echo, but like this, there is. But if you press it, it kind of intensifies the effect. Let me show you. And as you can see, as I change the pressure on the knob, it adds more intensity. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. It's something that I didn't know at first, but it's a nice detail. Basically, as you're, working with a beat and either adding beat effects, and then adding some build up or breakdown effects, you kind of raise up the intensity and you want to change into another part or into another song. And basically the idea is that you press the release effects, but you can either have the echo, which plays the current song and just adds like an echo effect, or a backspin, or a vinyl break, right? So all of these are effects that are typically used in DJ transitions. So it's normal that, or DJ sets. So it's normal that they're added here. Another nice feature of this unit is the fact that it basically tracks the BPM automatically. So there's no MIDI, there's no way to kind of feed that BPM data from anything else, from any other of your machines right here. It just tracks it automatically. And it's usually pretty strong, but just today, as I was doing some final testings on the unit, I noticed that it was kind of jumping. So I have 124 BPM song right here, and for some reason it was going between 125, sometimes 126, then coming back to 123. I don't know if this is because of the volumes of the different devices. I haven't noticed this before. It's actually quite weird, but usually it has a pretty strong algorithm. And it's able to track the BPMs correctly, right? There's a tap button and also a nudge button. I haven't used it yet. I'm not the tap kind of person, but if you're that kind of person, then I think you can make good use of it. Besides that, what else can I say about this? Each type of effect that you see here, so the modulation, the echo, the noise, spiral up, etc., each can be sort of customized, and basically customized in terms of there's a few presets for each. Like for most, there's like a couple types of modulations. Like for example, if I put the modulation here, there's actually no sound, so of course it's not going to work. Let me see something like, can we go to noise? Yeah, let me see if I can change the effect right here on the fly. So if I press customize shift, yeah, and as you can see, it changed to something else. Something else. Again. And back to the original one that I had before. So this one actually has like 4. Most of them have like 2 or 3. And what I find, and it's actually one of the downfalls of this product for me in terms of Dawless, remember that it's always in terms of Dawless, is that the effects that are here are very much high intensity DJ style effects. And of course, I do understand that, because it's the main intent of the unit is to be an effects unit for DJ sets, right? So of course it's going to be like high intensity stuff. But I wish that Pioneer would have like a bit of a mindset that this could be used for something else, or even, in terms of DJ sets, sometimes you're just playing some chill music and you don't really want that banging thing over and over, and that like really over the top thing. And I wish that they could allow you to kind of customize the effects further, maybe even using the computer or anything, just to kind of tone down, because I'll provide some examples a bit later, but you'll see that it's like, if you're doing something chill, something ambient, or something like chill house, or something, a little slower, a little lower energy, it doesn't quite fit. And it has so much potential to work with those types of songs as well. It's just that it's not there, it's just not there. And I try to customize mine as much as possible for the type of music that I usually play, because sometimes it's good to be over the top, but not every time. And it's really a shame. And you might ask why I went for the Remix Station 500, the RMX 500, and not the 1000. But basically because of money. The main thing was money. The RMX 1000, I think it's still being produced, but it's super rare. Not every shop has it. And the ones they do, it's like €1,000. which is way overpriced for the type of thing that this does, right? It's like, why would you have to pay so much for something that, you know, just does effects, right? And I'm not sure. I know that unit has like customizable effects. I'm just not sure if it's more customizable than this one, or if it's just, you know, just the same way that you select different presets and that it's done. If you guys have the RMX 1000, please let me know. It might be something that I can look into. But yeah, $1,000 for that, 1,000 euros. It's like it's too much. And this one, I got it secondhand. You cannot find it new anymore. But I got it secondhand for 400. It's still high. It's still a high price for the type of thing that this does, but I found it more manageable. But to be honest, I'm kind of like, it's not worth the price for me, of course. So yeah, let me show you a little bit more of the problems that I found in this unit. And for that, I think the better way to do it is with an actual example, right? All right, so we have something here, right? Let me show you like one of the problems, right? So you'd like to do some beat repeat, some beat effects, right? The first problem is that this is a toggle button. It's not like a hold. I wish there was an option to actually hold, so you could just, you know, add a little bit of spice here and there, but no. You have to click it and that's it, right? And if you press it, it's the same thing. You can add more intensity as you press the knob, but that's basically it. And you have to press it to activate and deactivate. And it would be so much easier to just you know, just hold it and have it like a timely, like a temporary effect, and that's it. I mean, for me, for transitions, it would be perfect. The effects here, you know, not really the best, if I'm honest. There's a few that are cool, like the offset one. You can add some groove. But others, like the reverb delay or the reverse delay, it's like whatever. The I don't know, transpose? No, it's not transpose. I don't know what this means, but it's like it applies like a gate effect, and it's like, but I get it. Like, this is supposed to be used, and yeah, let me touch upon some. So this is meant to be used in a DJ set as an effects send effect. You're not supposed to use it as end of chain effect. And I do understand that, although I think the manual actually talks about that. So it is a possibility, but the main intention here is that you're basically mixing two or more songs, and each one has an effects send route that routes its audio to this, and it feeds back into the mixer. The problem here with how the thing works, it doesn't really matter because you're placing another song on top of it, so it's less noticeable. For example, on these gated effects, it actually can sound kind of cool because you're putting another song behind it. So yeah, that's okay. Here, as an end of chain, it feels kind of empty. It feels kind of, what the hell are you doing over there? It breaks the groove. But back to the task at hand. Here, the reverb up, it sounds really cool. And here it shows like a bunch of problems that I have with this unit. Something that really, it's like, it's probably one of the things that it drives me crazy the most. As you saw, I was trying to do a transition into like a climax part, right? And so I wanted to change the pattern into like the really banging stuff with all the drums and everything. But you're meant to use this unit as you're pulling up the reverb, right? You're raising the intensity, and then you're meant to press the release effects to kind of like stop everything, right? To disengage all of the effects. But when you do so, it cuts the song, it cuts the audio. If this could do like, as soon as you click the release effect, some kind of option to just have the effects like tail, you know, like the delay just kind of tails and have the song going on, that would have been perfect. That would have been, you know, perfect for the kind of transitions that I want to do, like to have like this seamless flow between things as like an actual produced song. Remember that we're playing with Dawless here, so it's like it's kind of hard to have that, you know, completeness that you have on an actual recorded full produced song in just gear done on the fly. So if this could have done it, you know, in a way that it would just add the tail, it would sound so seamless, like it was recorded that way. But no, it just cuts the audio and that's it. And there's no options here to change that. It always cancels everything. It's just like, it's such a letdown. I was really let down when I discovered that that's the way that it works and you cannot do anything about it, right? It just goes dead. And of course you also saw that it peaked, like it started clipping. And that's another thing, that's another problem with this unit, is that it's really easy to peak. I've been trying, like, before this, as I said, I was testing the unit and I was trying for 30 minutes to just make all of the volume here, like between all of the gear that I have here, just kind of make it balance in order to have this not clip when I try to add effects. And the balance is really, you know, it's really hard to get that balance. And as you know, if you're doing gigs, live gigs, and you carry this stuff around, and you may have different levels of volume each time, it's such, you know, it's really problematic when you have to do that and kind of adjust to specifically to the clipping that you see here, just because of this unit, right? And it has a bunch of settings down there in terms of the dBs that for different use cases, but none of them seem to kind of work. It always clips, especially if you have this add, the beat repeat add. If you add that and you press that and you start adding something else, it's gonna clip automatically and it's gonna sound like shit. Basically, it's gonna sound like shit. This is a Pioneer thing, and this is one thing that I don't know if it's only because I'm using Dawless gear. I would imagine that with certain types of songs, that would happen as well in a DJ set, right? And maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe you know more about this unit than I do. And if you do, please help me. But I'm finding really hard to kind of integrate. That reverb up effect in this song, it sounds really good. I really like it. But it's just, it's so problematic, you know? And then when you try to release, you know, what I've learned to do is basically, I can only add, I only have two hands. So the way to do it is just to add the effect and click it. Because again, it's a toggle, right? It's not like a hold. If it was a hold, maybe it would improve the usability of this. But no, I have to toggle it to activate and deactivate the effect. And it does give me that tail that I want. And actually another use that you can have in Dawless is just to give it texture, because you can do stuff like this. That's kind of cool. It's the only effect that allows to do this, this like whip kind of thing. But it's kind of cool to add some variation on the fly, right? It's gonna sound dead if you don't have that echo, and it's such a pain. Let me give you some other examples of the effects here. Let me go for something a little bit chill. perhaps. Whoops. Okay, we've heard the noise, we've heard the reverb up. Now, for example, modulation. Sure. This is the echo. Let me change into something else. All right. Okay. It's okay. You see? How can you use this in something that you want chilled? You can't. And the mod one? Like wink wink wink. I mean, why can't I change this? And I'm not gonna show you all of the other effects. I mean, if you want, I can provide you with a different video about that with the different presets. But none of them, like, these are the best ones if you want something chilled. Trust me. Listen to the spiral up. I can't use this. But now, for the breakdown effects, like if you want to break down into another song or whatever, okay, you have the typical high pass filter. If you press it, it does this. I mean, I don't know when are you going to use that like walk 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 walk. Even in the DJ set, I think. I mean, okay, this unit is like 10 years old or 15 or whatever, so it's old. But even then, man, come on, let us do something else with this. The low pass filter. It's a shame. Oh, you see, it's peaking already. It's peaking. It's like it's clipping already. Look at that. But yeah, like for the high pass and the low pass, I wish like the echo option was something that you could add to each effect. Because, for example, for high pass and low pass, I would like to have it without the echo. And it's another thing that you have to remember is to just disable the echo effect specifically for those two effects. Whatever. Let's go to zip. It's definitely my favorite. I don't know. Spiral down. And I guess the reverb down is another one that is usable, I guess. Yeah, you know, this one is more usable. I could see like using this specific one as a breakdown kind of thing, but not this. Like, why? Not this. I don't want like this weird. And like the pressure thing is kind of cool, but you know, in the heat of the action. Are you really going to be that specific with the pressure? Maybe you can learn into it, but it's like it's a little finicky, you know. It's not like something that you can easily gauge of how much pressure you should apply to have like a specific timing on the effect, right? But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna stop this. Yeah, that's basically it. I guess to conclude, to end this video, I'm very sorry to say, but I don't think that this specific unit, the RMX 500, is good for Dawless. You can learn to use it in your setup if, you know, if you plan on the exact type of effects that you want to use, if they are adequate to the things that you are playing. But I don't think it's worth 400. And actually, I've seen it going for more like 500 or so, and I don't think that it's worth 500. Hell, I don't think it's worth like 250, just because you can't customize it, you know. And I wish that Pioneer would do something of the sort. Pioneer or someone else. There seems to be a lack of these end of chain units. I've seen Ricky Tinez, he built like this whole modular system with a different bunch of effects, like with a multiband compressor and a performer with different types of effects. Maybe that's something that I should look in the future. But those things are expensive. Those are expensive. Pardon my French. And yeah, like for a budget-minded artist, Dawless artist, it's like it's really hard to justify spending that amount of money on something that is just going, just to add some spice. But might be something that I want to look in the future. I don't think there's many other types of devices like that. Not in the sense that they can provide these types of transitions, these types of effects directly. So yeah, it's. I'm sad. I'm sad that it has to be that way. I don't think I'm going to sell this anytime soon, but I might, because, for a DJ, this might be much more helpful. But for me, it's like, I don't know. And honestly, I didn't even talk about the sequencer, because to me, it's like, it's fun. You can actually make a beat without anything else, really, just using the RMX 500, as I'm going to show here. But besides that, it's just, I don't see myself using this live, especially when I have like an actual drum machine there for me to use. But even it's like, it's wonky. It's like, it's not easy to use because you really have to have like a really sense of rhythm, which personally I don't have. And even if you screw up, you have to delete, hold the button. It's like, it's kind of a whole process to just go back to where you were. So it's not really easy to use, but it is affected by everything else, like the beat repeat effects and everything, and also the main build up and breakdowns. So, it could be something that you find useful, for example. But that's it. I think I've talked about all of the things that I wanted. Yeah, let me know what you think of it. Do you have one? Do you have the RMX 1000? If you do, let me know if anything that I've said here is kind of like improved with that unit. All right, maybe it's something that I may want to look in the future, but honestly, the information on this is scarce. But yeah, let me know what you think of this video, and subscribe for more. This is more of a chilled kind of video, not so produced as the other ones that I have. I think I'm gonna do this more in the future, just for the sake of keeping the content flowing. And yeah, have a good one, keep jamming, and be good.